The 4B movement, born in South Korea, has sparked waves of change overseas, and now it's making its way across the globe. Could it actually take root in the United States, especially after the 2024 election and growing fears over women's rights? But what exactly is 4B? And why are so many women rallying behind it in the face of political uncertainty? Stick around to discover how this bold movement is challenging the status quo and why it's capturing the attention of millions. At its core, it's a pledge to step away from traditional expectations tied to men and relationships. Known as the 4 No's, it's originated in South Korea, where its 4 principles each start with the Korean term bai, meaning no. These principles represent a stance against dating men, engaging in sexual relationships with men, heterosexual marriage, and childbirth. The movement emerged as a powerful reaction against what many South Korean women view as deeply entrenched patriarchy and misogyny. Since its start in 2017, the 4B movement has drawn significant attention, especially after a wave of activism in 2019, similar to the #MeToo movement. With an anonymous, decentralized online presence, women involved in 4B have formed a community that calls for change without revealing much about themselves. These women highlight issues like spy cam porn, a form of gender-based violence that has gained alarming traction in South Korea, along with calls for greater workplace protections and an end of hiring discrimination. In a country where women still earn 31.2% less than men in 2022, according to Human Rights Watch and Korea Times, the 4B movement's demands resonate with women nationwide. While Me Too began in the United States in 2006 and became a global force in 2017, other countries have sparked their own transformative movements. South Korea, for example, developed a powerful Me Too response that encouraged countless women to share their experiences of harassment, challenging ingrained societal norms. Within months of its launch in late 2017, hundreds of women courageously spoke out about harassment and violence, driving a wave of social change. For the first time, women forced into sex work during the World War II Japanese occupation began to publicly share their stories, adding voices that had long been silenced. Beyond individual stories, Korea's Me Too movement confronted broader issues, including femicide, non-consensual pornography, and toxic workplace misogyny. The movement fueled a surge of #activism, with #WithYou emerging as a powerful signal of unity with survivors. These hashtags didn't just stay online. They ignited the formation of activist groups like Citizens Action to Support, the #MeToo movement, who have been working tirelessly to end gender-based oppression and support survivors across the nation. The question of whether the 4B movement might truly take root in America is still up in the air. But one thing's certain, online, young women across the country are talking. Some are pledging allegiance to this movement, while others who are already in relationships are finding ways to express their protest by boycotting male-owned businesses or redefining traditional expectations around emotional labor. Pollard, who first came across South Korea's 4B movement a few years back, it spurred her to question what life might look like without centering men at every turn. Since 2022, she's chosen not to date or engage with men, realizing she could not only thrive independently, but might even prefer it. With her own resources, she's embracing the possibility of raising a child on her own, an act of prioritizing her happiness and well-being rather than rejecting men out of resentment. Now, as more women show curiosity in the 4B movement, Pollard hopes they see it as a door to choices they may not have known were possible. Push people far enough and they're done, she says. Politically, this could shake things up, but the takeaway is that women choosing their own happiness is becoming a force no one can ignore. Another woman, Alexa Vargas from Boston, distanced herself from men after enduring abusive relationships. This year, she discovered the 4B movement, realizing it perfectly aligned with her journey. "I'm not here to change men," she says. "This is about protecting young women and carving out spaces where we can thrive." And for some women, the backlash proves their point. Abby K. from Florida, for instance, recently shared her story online after ending a relationship over her ex's dismissive remarks about Trump's history of abuse. Her post drew waves of hateful responses from men, reinforcing her decision to step back from dating. Whether or not 4B becomes a widespread movement in the U.S., there's no denying that more women are openly discussing what it means to redefine their lives on their own terms. The rise of the 4B movement in the U.S. is a striking reflection of American women's frustrations with the political climate, especially following Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election. As Trump secures his second term, concerns over women's rights, particularly abortion access, have escalated. On social media, the 4B movement, which originated in South Korea, quickly gained traction. Videos about the movement went viral, with TikTok views soaring and Google searches spiking by 450%. American women are now referring to it as the Four Nos and Lysistrata, signaling a powerful collective pushback against a perceived threat to their autonomy. Trump's stance on abortion has fueled these concerns. Despite claiming to leave the issue to individual states, his influence over a Republican-controlled Senate and Supreme Court raises fears of a nationwide abortion ban. Activists also worry that his administration could resurrect the 1873 Comstock Act, a law that criminalizes abortion-related materials, further restricting women's rights. Compounding these fears are Trump's past comments and behaviors towards women. From a jury finding him liable for sexual abuse to his history of disparaging remarks about female figures like Kamala Harris, Trump's approach to women's issues has only amplified the urgency of movements like 4B. In response to these threats, many American women are channeling their anger into activism, rejecting traditional gender norms and patriarchy by boycotting men in heterosexual relationships. The 4B movement, though controversial, has become a powerful symbol of resistance, urging women to take control of their future and reclaim their voices in a rapidly changing political landscape. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and rock that notification bell for more updates on our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.